I don't know why people do this. I just got on Dennis's ass about it with my last video. And now today, Six the Goddess posted a video talking about women losing weight. And she's been talking about women losing weight. But then she goes and uses the same clip. And I don't know why people do this. I don't know where, like, why their brain breaks down. And maybe it has to do with the monetization. People just want to make their money. They want to sensationalize shit. But this is why the whole gender war and these online conversations with the monetization, it just broke everything's just broken. I can't even advise people to come online, get involved in these conversations, and act as though they're going to get some solid information out of it, because people do shit like this. That was a fat party. That swim thick video clip. Again, if you can go to their Instagram, their whole page is dedicated to throwing pool parties for morbidly obese women. That is what the fuck they do. To use that clip and try to make it some sort of aha moment is the dumbest shit in the world, because that is where you're going to see morbidly obese women congregate. But see, the slick ass shit that Dennis tried to do, and even what a Six the Goddess is doing in her video, is making it seem like, you just go around and you walk into a place randomly, and that's what the fuck you're going to see, is just a whole room full of women 300 pounds plus. And that's bullshit. Yes, granted, we know we have an obesity problem in the black community. Anywhere you go in America, the bowling alley, a club, a pool party, the beach, or whatever, pound for pound, black women are going to be the heaviest and most out of shape. That is a fact. Everybody knows it. Brothers have been talking about it forever. What do black men stereotype? Black men stereotypes that they're athletic and playing sports and running around and dodging and playing football and everything. And then they get heavier and gain weight over time as they enter middle age and, becoming older men. That's expected. Everybody's going to decline as they get older. But in their prime, arguably, black men look the best, right? But when it comes to black women in their prime, the idea is that they're morbidly obese. Six the Goddess said this in her video. If you close your eyes and you think of an Asian woman, you don't think of a morbidly obese woman. Okay, you think of a, Lucy Liu, like she said. If you think of a Latina, you close your eyes, think of a Latina, you're thinking J-Lo, you're thinking freaking, I don't know, who else, just any sort of spicy salsa dancing chick that's fitting in shape. The women on, Univision and Telemundo, and the ones that go up there and do the weather. The Latinas are known for having fit, sexy, spicy. And they got everybody thinking that that's what the whole community is made of, because that's what they put out there and that's what they promote. I've argued this for years about black women's representation when we want to talk about, not only the psychological mindset of black men, but also other races of men when it comes to how they view their women. I'm like, you could not keep putting morbidly obese women at the forefront and think that that's going to reflect positively on you, because the sister's not even going to enter your fantasy. You're going to be thinking about light skins, exoticals, white women, Asian women, everything else, because the silhouette that comes to your mind is of something that you would actually want. Every other goddamn bitch, and even white women now, with the way that they're in the gym doing squats and deadlifts, the silhouette of them has changed. Everybody running around thinking they look like Marvel comic book superheroes and shit in the one piece. You know, chicks, white women running around here looking like Rogue and shit. You know what I mean? And so we've argued this point ad nauseum. You know, I remember Cap told me about this club in I think it was in New York or it was in Detroit. Might have been in New York. But anyway, the brother is like back in like the 90s. Brother was trying to have a grown and sexy spot for, you know, black people to go to. And, you know, he was like, basically, brothers got to have a degree. They make X amount of dollars, high value men. And the women got to look a certain way and they got to be of a certain body type. Like it was like, it just had the criteria. And maybe not body type, but, you know, basically, you got to be a bad bitch. Because I'm bringing brothers that got money here. You got to be a bad bitch. And Cap told me that the big black women went the fuck off. They went off. And they had some political power, you know, they went to city council or whatever, and basically the whole experiment fell apart. Now, I asked them last night, I said, how is it other groups can do this shit? Because they got, whether it's you got to have a membership or it's invite only, like there's places that you can go. I think Hooters changed their rules because there were a couple discrimination lawsuits and shit like that because of all this woke culture. But I definitely know that other groups are able to do this. Same thing with the strip clubs. Like, you want to be a stripper, you got to look a certain way. You can't just be all fat slide. They won't hire you. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't even know how that works and how they get away with that. You know what I mean? But the whole thing with fat black women and a lot of them being in the majority, you know, storming the Capitol because, you know, they're not being accepted. Again, going back to all this redefining and everything. You know, like, it is a problem. It does reflect on the overall image of black women as a collective, as a whole, and the image is negative. And black women want to act like, oh, it's just anti-blackness or anti-black womanness. And I'm not saying that doesn't exist in the background, but what they're doing here is not helping them. And it's like nobody can express this to them because, you know, they want to be comforted in the space of other black women and all that other shit that are obese, and they don't want to put in the work, or they want to blame it on, oh, the community's broken and niggas ain't building and all this other shit. But yet they're sitting there with diabetes and hypertension, you know, and hyperlipidemia and all these other comorbidities that are the reason why, you know, in many regards, they became the face of the dying when it came to COVID. But all of that being true, all of acknowledging all of that, using this clip of an event where fat women are going to a pool party that, you know, that probably moves around or whatever. I don't think this is just one particular club, or it might be. But to use that where there's going to be a concentration of morbidly obese women, to me, is just wrong. And it's extreme, and I don't know why people do it. Like somebody wrote in my comment section, and I mean, it was so, I was like, I can't believe I didn't even think of that one. But it would be literally the equivalent of a divester going to a gay bar, a black gay bar, standing in the room, scanning the room with her freaking cell phone, right? Putting the shit on TikTok or Instagram, you know, and then just putting out there, yeah, see, that's why us black women are single, because all these niggas are gay. That's why we single. That's why I ain't got a man, because niggas is gay. They on the down low. That's what it is. See, look. Exhibit A. Because these niggas is gay, right? It would be no different than a black woman, a divester, literally showing up at the penitentiary and visiting somebody in the penitentiary on some MSNBC locked up type of shit, and then posting the shit online and being like, look, see, niggas is locked up. That's why I'm single. That's why black women are alone, because these niggas ain't shit, because they all in jail. Well, bitch, of course it's going to look that way if you're standing in the middle of a fucking penitentiary. Of course it's going to look that way if you're standing in the middle of a gay bar and there's nothing but gay black men. That's where gay black men go. That's like going into a bathroom and bitching about the fact that it smells like shit in here. Bitch, you're in the middle of a fucking bathroom. This is where people shit. Of course it smells like shit. So if there's an event and it's specifically tailored to morbidly obese women, as much criticism as I have for black women, I'm not going to use that and be like, aha, see, look at all these morbidly obese women, aha. No, if I was really on some, let me slam these women and charge them with a crime, I would go to a mixed event. A random mixed event. I go down to freaking spring break, in South Beach, Miami, and walk around with the camera and show you all the women that are all in the same age group, and walk around with the camera. And I'll probably show you a whole bunch of fine-ass white women, fine-ass Latina women, and every black woman that you see is probably going to be, overweight. Like Six to God has said, it's like, if you have 5 black women, for every 4, there's only one, that's not overweight. We're not even talking, fit or what's that girl's name? The Wedgela chick, whatever her name is. All them fitness sisters that are on freaking Instagram and shit like that. You're not going to find a whole bunch of that. You're not. At best, you're going to find a chick that's about 19 years old she's got high metabolism. She's always been skinny. And now she done ate and she put on just enough weight. And she's got just enough black genetics to make it, where you're like, yeah, but it ain't going to stay that way for long. It's going to stay that way for about 2 or 3 years, before, it gets past that critical point. Skinny black women have a better chance of looking. I'll give you a perfect example. Perfect example is Megan Thee Stallion. A lot of people don't know. Megan Thee Stallion is big as fuck compared to what she used to be. And you got to go back and you got to look, just pull up some old pictures of Megan Thee Stallion. I was trying to tell people that shit. I was like, nah. They were like, what about Megan Thee Stallion? She's beautiful. She's this and that. I'm like, I prefer Megan Thee Stallion before she blew up. I'm talking about blow up in terms of her career and shit like that. I prefer the old Megan Thee Stallion. I prefer the rapping in ciphers on the block Megan Thee Stallion when she was in college showing off her stomach, can wear a what do you call that shit? A midriff t-shirt. Ain't a whole bunch of sisters out here in the world that can actually rock a midriff t-shirt. Quiet as is kept, a lot of these young South African women, doing their little Afro beats dance and shit that I come across every so often on Instagram, and they got body. I just wish that they would work their shit out, but they definitely have the shape. But I'm saying a lot more of them can wear midriff tops than African American women, hands down. But to sit here and use a video where morbidly obese women are disproportionately congregating and make it an aha moment is just profoundly intellectually dishonest. Yes, we have an obesity problem, but I'm saying you don't need this clip to address that and make it seem or make it appear as though that everywhere you go, you're going to see women 300 pounds plus. On top of the fact that, Six to Goddess addressed this whole thing with, women and coping mechanisms, and your brain enters this state of acceptance in order to try to defend itself from going cuckoo. And I get all that, the eating because of depression and whatever. Women will bring up everything from sexual assault to and black men don't want me or some shit like that, right? And so now the women are big as hell. Look. That woman, there's one of the women that right as the camera starts, the one that's sitting at the edge of the pool, and then there's another one that's talking to a heavyset brother. Okay, they're on the other side of the pool, and she just froze the picture right there. But that woman is so morbidly obese. Both of them are so morbidly obese that even if they lost the weight, they would have to get multiple surgeries because of excess skin. Okay. Where they're at right now is unrecoverable. It's unrecoverable. In other words, there's a difference between talking to a chick. Let's say a chick was 130 pounds and then she shot up to like 160 pounds, right? That's doable. That's doable. Like, hey, chick, you can get too big. That's doable. And you can bounce back. Your skin has that level of elasticity where you could lose it. You might end up with a couple of stretch marks here and there. Okay. But if you let yourself, just go, to where not, you got flabs of skin hanging over your clothes. If you were to lose all of that weight within, just say, 4 years, 5 years, and if you lost it even more rapidly, you know what I mean? You're going to have even more excess skin because some of that skin will be able to reabsorb, but the majority of it won't. So in other words, a lot of these women are beyond the point of, sister, you need to lose weight when you start talking about chicks running around looking like my 600-pound life. That's not recoverable. And I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, well, all of you should lose the weight before you can enjoy, being in a pool, before you can enjoy going outside. Like I'm looking at that whole event like it's a bunch of handicapped kids. That's how I'm looking at the event. You know what I mean? I'm not over there, bitching about you need to stand up and start walking. They're in wheelchairs. They can't. You need to do something about this. Look at all this. All these niggas is in wheelchairs. Because half of them have cerebral palsy. The other half are freaking paralyzed from the waist down. Fuck you want them to do? They're enjoying the water. Shut the fuck up and leave them alone. They created this event because, again, everybody else, the regular people, the fully able-bodied people are assholes. You already know how cruel kids can be when it comes to morbidly obese people, how men can be cruel about that shit, how women can be cruel about that shit. You already know this. This event was not for you. It wasn't for your eyes. It wasn't for you to critique. It's being promoted to attract other people in the same boat. That's what it's for. But to sit there and use it as Exhibit A, evidence, see, and look at our black women, and they're just so fat. You know what I mean? Like and then people getting on see, this is the problem. They don't hijack the word, thick. Yeah, of course, because freaking fat is a pejorative. What do you want them to call the club? Swim fat? Like you think people are going to be attracted to that? You know what I'm saying? Like how about I call a club, the Newark niggas or some shit like that? How about I call something like that? Or how about I call a club with a lot of brothers on Club 50-50? Since y'all niggas is all on some 50-50 shit, why don't I call it Club 50-50 and see how many of y'all want to show up? No. A lot of you all are running around doing the same fucking denial shit that they're doing, where you want to call yourself high value and you ain't got a pot to piss in. I'm high value because I serve the Most High and I got the sweet twinkle of white Jesus in my eye. I'm high value. I'm a high value man, Kevin. You know what I'm saying? Again, there's no difference in the delusion. But I don't even think those women were delusional about them if they were delusional about them being big or them being accepted or whatever, then they wouldn't have went off and created their own event. They would have showed up at the regular club, at the regular pool bar. They would have showed up there and they would have been, I know I'm sexy. I may have a gut, but there's some good pussy underneath this gut. Those type of chicks. But that's not what they did. They created their own event to not be ridiculed, to have a support group. I'm saying there's so many factions online. You know what I mean? Like if natural hair sisters went off and they did a natural hair event, you know what I'm saying? Obviously they're doing that as a support group. If black men that were educated, a bunch of ELs went off, right? Because they don't fuck with Ray Ray and Pookie, and Ray Ray and Pookie don't fuck with them. If they went off and they formed an educated lane party, and I've been to educated lane parties. You know what I mean? They'll have parties for whatever field you're in, lawyers parties or physicians or medical student parties. Like they'll have like all that type of shit. Graduate, oh, you must at least be in a program where you're getting your master's to come into this party. Otherwise, it's invite only. They'll rent the bar out, and it just ain't nothing in there. The men and the women in there are both educated. They do that shit all the time. And the only reason, you're not going to see a fucking event like when you're the default, and this is the part that kind of pisses me off, and black people should know better. It's like when white people sit there and they talk about BET, even though that black people don't even control BET. I think Viacom owns it. But they're like, BET, how come y'all have BET and there's no white entertainment television? Because every other channel on TV is white entertainment television, motherfucker. You are the standard. You are the default. So for a bunch of like you're not going to see a bunch of black, beautiful, model-esque black women throw an event or throw a party like this, or there be some sort of club that specifically tailors to just this, because first off, not only is that pretty much fucking standard, but if they did that and like made it like a thing, like, oh, you must look like this, and every chick in here's got to be at least on Six the Goddess level in order to be here, man, again, the big women, everybody else would throw a fucking fit. They would throw a fit about this is discriminatory. This is making us feel a certain type of way. This is why we have eating disorders. This is why that's what it would turn into. I'm saying if you're able-bodied, you got privilege. If you're fucking good-looking, by the grace of God, by the grace of the universe, that you were blessed with fucking genetics, and maybe I got more fucking compassion for the shit because I was born, with the genes. Not only did I not grow up in a poor household as a black person, but also I'm freaking tall. So a lot of the shit that a lot of niggas that are like 5'6", 5'8", and all the shit they got to go through, I never had to go through any of that shit. And I've recognized that. You know what I'm saying? I had a supportive family. Riding around in high school, brand new car. When I graduated college, I got another car that I didn't pay for. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not one to just, quickly jump up and sit there and talk my shit on people that are like, hey, we don't fit in. We didn't have that. I didn't have that type of support system. You know what I mean? I'm going to go over here and create my own space and not feel like, I'm being shit on. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that tall motherfucker that rags on fucking short dudes because I didn't have anything to do with my fucking height. You know what I'm saying? I had nothing to do with that. And yes, I've gotten pussy with zero game just off of the strength of height. I mean, in other words, I probably the short dude might have more game than me, but he gets a bitch off of the strength that I get a bitch off of the strength of height with no game, while he's got all the game in the world, but yet he still can't get it because the chick just writes him off because he's so short. You know what I mean? Like, and the part, and I'm saying that as somebody who feels quote unquote blessed, right? But then you get other people, there's people in my comment sections, dudes that are broke, dudes that are short, that are like, it's like, they're like, he who has no sin cast the first stone. These motherfuckers are dumping like just boulders on this whole situation. I'm like, wow. Reminds me of like people when they come out of the hood, they always everybody wants to talk about how, motherfuckers in the burbs, man, you think you better, you this, you that, da, 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 da. Talk to any nigga that was from the hood and got out of the hood and made it to the burbs. They the first ones to be like, man, what the hood ever do for me, man? Fuck the hood, man. Fuck the streets, man. Fuck giving back. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, God damn, you got a lot of anger, my man. Shit. I'm like, that's what people say about those of us who grew up in the burbs. And here you are, you came from the hoods and you just, man, fuck them, I'll cut everybody off. Fuck my moms, fuck my brother, fuck my aunt, fuck my niece, fuck my nephew. I'm like, God damn. Yeah, ain't nobody ever do nothing for me, man. Fuck that. You know what I mean? And so again, I don't get y'all. But then you know what I mean? Like these will be the same people that 5 minutes later, depending on the argument, oh nigga, what you know about the streets, nigga? You ain't real. You ain't from it, man. Don't speak on it. And you be like, oh, I thought you don't fuck with it. I don't, but that just still don't give you the right to speak on it, nigga. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get people, man. I don't get it. I don't get it. I would never use this shit as like, again, took me all of 30 seconds. I was like, wait a minute, ain't no way there's that many women. I'm looking around. I let the video repeat. I look around again. I'm like, nah, man. I'm like this, and I see that sign in the background, swim thick. And I'm like, why is that a sign? Is that like something like electric sign that they just like plugged up to the wall? Is there an actual club named Swim Thick? You know what I mean? And I'm saying, hey, it's a brilliant marketing idea. You know what I mean? Like there's like, in other words, like there's whole markets that people don't want to cater to. You know what I mean? But they need catering to. You know, like example, like you have regular schools and then you have places where they send kids because they have special needs. There is a market for that. And there's wealthy people who have kids that have special needs and they send them off to these homes and pay, in excess of $20,000 to $40,000 a year just to keep the kid there. All the other kids are fine, but they got some genetic shit going on, right? A lot of rich ass white people do shit like that. Kids coming out of these damn homes and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a market that's being catered to. It might be a small market, but if you can get 80% of the share of that small market, that's going to make you a multimillionaire. And if you have, and again, if you think that there aren't people catering to morbidly obese, and then you get into the whole, I seen this shit with Beyonce and Lizzo and this whole ableist, a thing. I just saw the thread come through on my phone. I didn't even click on it. I'm just like, this woke shit is just, it's too much. You know what I mean? But I'm never going to sit there. And if people go out there, like I said, this is exactly the shit that not only black people should be doing, black people have been doing this. Black people are excluded from many aspects of white society. You know what I mean? Or they'll allow you to be there, but they come with their microaggressions and all that other bullshit. We don't feel like dealing with that shit. So we go off and we carve out our own space and do our own fucking thing. You got black people that don't even want to live around white people. They don't even want white neighbors. You know what I mean? And so they carve out their little own space. I don't want to live in a neighborhood. I want to be able to work on my car on my driveway. I don't want to live in a neighborhood that's got all type of ordinances and all other type of bullshit that's going to be enforced and everything else like that. How can I have my little side hustle if I can't even do that? Now, some people may care for that. They'll be like, well, you're destroying the curb appeal. And other people, they'll be like, hey, man, do what you got to do, to be in a shade tree mechanic and shit like that. There's certain shit that people want to deal with and don't want to deal with. But at the end of the day, I would never use this clip and be like, aha, because guaranteed, if one of these divestors grabbed a video of a bunch of fucking gay dudes, bunch of gay black men Vogue dancing, and said, all these niggas are gay, and then tried to literally paint a broad brush to all black men across the board, black men would be going ballistic. They'd be going ballistic on Divestment Zealot and Lexus Exodus and any of these other swirling type of women. They would be like, so you gonna go to the club and you gonna make this out there that all niggas is gay? They would be going nuts. So I'm like, so why are you doing it? Why are you doing the exact same thing? And even in my last video, the comments are trash. Dudes they just saw the beginning clip and just immediately started talking shit. Didn't even get into the fucking video. Some did later when they started seeing the comments pop up of one brother. He came in immediately, like he was one of the first brothers to comment. He was like, yo, cats just looked at the video clip that you put and they didn't even listen to the video and they already just writing comments like a bunch of giddy ass schoolgirls and shit. Some of y'all really got to look at yourselves. You got to reevaluate yourselves when you want to talk about being a high value man, and it really brings to question, what you guys are doing with your life. You know what I'm saying? There's brothers that, they peek their head in, they listen and everything. But when y'all get on this, y'all masturbating, based on shitting on black women, even in ways that don't even make sense. It really brings the question. I mean, either again, y'all gonna get mad at me for saying it. Either you're hurt, or the chick hurt you, or you're mad you ain't getting no pussy or something. Because some of y'all be doing some real extra shit in the comment section. These are women that none of you all want, and nobody's accusing you of wanting them. Nobody's accusing you of wanting them. This doesn't even fall underneath colorism. These women are grossly, morbidly obese. You don't have to scream from the mountaintop with a loudspeaker how much you don't want them. This whole event isn't for you. So why? Oh man, I was just clowning. I was just this, which is exactly why they created their own event, dumbass. That's why they created their own event. So they don't got to sit there and listen to you run your fucking mouth and snicker and snare and crack fucking jokes. So the only men that are going to be there are men that are interested in that. And quiet is kept. There's quite a few chubby chasers in the black community for whatever reason. Some people will be like, oh, they're trying to manipulate. Okay. Maybe you got dudes that's out here that just like some big old sloppy titties. Who knows? There's dudes that are into that. There's all, like I said, all the different genres of porn and, octopus shit and everything else. Tentacles, the Japanese with their tentacles and shit, alien sex and whatnot. There's all type of weird shit that people are into. What's that other shit with the chicks with the dicks? The Futurama. I don't even know what the hell that shit is. What I mean? They be having these hentai pictures with chicks with dicks and shit, breasts and dicks. And you're like, what? Wait, huh? They all into that. You know what I mean? So some of y'all got foot fetishes. Yo, let me see. I don't want to see your titties. Let me see your feet. You know what I mean? Like, so again, let those guys handle that. We know we have an obesity problem. It is not a surprise, but if you really want to make a point, if you really want to highlight, like, look, we got a problem here. You know what I'm saying? Go to a damn mixed spot, or a spot that's popular that every race is going to show up at, and show us the ratios there. Show us the ratios of badass non-black women versus black women in a space like that. Because that's a random space. That's an organic space. That's where you make your argument. You say, come on, sisters, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like the white girls shouldn't be out here defeating you like this. Flawless victory. Sonya wins. Like, it shouldn't go down like that. That would be an argument. But to sit there and grab some shit like that, I mean, I'm still blown away. I'm blown away by the comments underneath Dennis's video, the comments underneath my video, and even Six the Goddess's video. I'm like, y'all really gonna just run with this? Y'all gonna grab a bunch of morbidly obese women that had an event specifically tailored for them and then run with it? I can't wait because it's coming. I'm just letting y'all know it's coming. The divestors are gonna grab a video of some fucked up shit. All it takes is gonna take like 4 or 5 niggas in the video doing some fucked up shit, and they're gonna be like, aha, see, and that's what these niggas is on, aha. And you're gonna be sitting there mad. Well, see, sister, that's not really reflective of it. I'm like, nah, remember the pool niggas? Y'all wanted to sit there and say that fat girl pool party was reflective of the majority of black women out here. Again, you can make your points without reaching. You don't have to reach. Hell, Dennis could have went to the CDC and pulled up the numbers on black women being overweight. Or pulled up the numbers of black women who died of COVID because of comorbidities. He could have done that. But to use this video, I'm like, come on, dude. Come on. You know, it's the same, and especially him being a light-skinned dude, same way motherfuckers be doing light-skinned dudes with all this shit. I saw a video the other day, how light-skinned niggas dunk, and the nigga dunked the ball with his ass. You know what I mean? Just all the dumb shit that people do about light-skinned dudes. Oh, see, look at this light-skinned nigga. He out here making duck faces. See, told you these niggas is sweet. Told you they all in their feelings. I don't get that shit. I don't get it. You know, and the main issue with this is that, you know, it undermines when you make valid criticisms. When you make valid criticisms, because, like, in other words, it gets to a point where it just looks like you're just bashing for the sake of bashing. You're reaching for the sake of reaching. You know what I mean? Then you start looking like oh, this motherfucker's just biased. Like, this motherfucker just, like, you just go out of your way. Like, again, it's the same bullshit that white people do. Go to any video where it shows a black person committing a crime, a criminal act, and the white people in the comment section foaming at the mouth. When around blacks never relax. You know what I'm saying? L'Aquarius James. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it looks like one of Obama's sons. You know what I mean? They got all type of jokes. He didn't do nothing. You know what I mean? We was kangs. They in the comment section having a fucking field day. Because, you know, the economy fell through and a nigga decided to go and freaking rob a liquor store or some shit. They had that shit. I think the guy was black. They did shit with the 80-year-old man who shot the man in the arm. And he was like, he shot my arm off. And he comes running out the door. I'm like, nigga, you ran up in there with an AR-15. What you talking about? He shot your arm off. And rightfully so. You know what I mean? But the white people, they up there, they, you know, foaming in the mouth, looking for confirmation bias. You know, but when it comes to the videos of white people committing crimes and white people, you know, robbing and stealing and shit like that, they real quiet in the comment section. I'm glad he was arrested. That's about all you get. You know what I mean? Blue lives matter. We support law enforcement, right? But let it be somebody black. Oh my God! It turns into it's in their DNA, you know, their propensity to violence. You know, we don't have a gun problem. We have a black people problem. You know what I mean? They're just in there just talking their shit. And that's what y'all do. And I'm just like, really? Really? Yeah, again, once you gotta reach, and you're consistently reaching in order to make your points, you know what I mean? Then you start looking like, nah, you got some other issues going on. I don't need to reach to make my points. Hell, I'll let the women, you know, speak for themselves. You know, I pull up receipts and shit like that. You know, because the women, all you gotta do is let them talk. Just like Captain Solo, let them talk on that cat food clip. 2 captains on a ship? You know what I'm saying? In all matriarchies. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know we were operating on a matriarchy. In every matriarchy, the woman assigns him his kingship. You know what I mean? And as he politely responded, he was like, no, a woman can't give you your kingship. Men do not become kings in other people's castles. The fuck? You know what I'm saying? And that's all you got to do. And I remember Don Nicoleon, couple years ago, she wrote me a message. I see you and Captain Solo are still talking about me. I'm like, chick, you know that this video makes you look crazy. But when you were up there on your show, and it was your show, and you were bold and talking your shit, you know what I mean? You were proud to talk your shit. But now that video has made its rounds and people have seen that video numerous times and saved it and everything else, now she had the nerve to come over to my page making a comment. I'm like, I wasn't even on the show. This was you and Captain Solo. And y'all had y'all little back and forth, and you said all the dumb shit that she said. And in every Native American culture, you know what I mean? The woman, she moves the storm. We can see shit that y'all can't see, hear shit that y'all can't hear, sense shit that y'all can't sense, feel shit that y'all can't feel. I'm like, the fuck? What is she talking about? See, that made sisters look crazy. But again, let it come out of their own mouths with their same shit that Kevin did. All right, what you got for me? What you got for me? Let them come up there and say, don't reach. Don't reach. Because once you become associated with being a reacher, you're no different than the divestment women. You're no different. You're no different than the white supremacists. You know what I mean? They only want to see shit through their little white lens and whatnot, right? Back when black people were doing drugs, nigger, personal responsibility. Now that they're doing drugs, it's no longer personal responsibility. Now all of a sudden, we got to lock the drug dealers up and charge them with murder because, this precious white person died because of a fentanyl overdose. They didn't. What happened to personal responsibility? They wanted to do drugs. Hell, they wanted to do the hard shit because they built up such a high tolerance. They wanted something that was really going to take them to ecstasy. How is that the drug dealer's fault? You see? But you see how they shift the blame once the shit, we go from the crack epidemic to the opioid epidemic. And I'm like, we know white people are full of shit. But when we're trying to have, constructive dialogue back and forth with each other about the gender shit, you know what I mean? You don't want to be labeled, that motherfucker. You don't want to be labeled, the reacher, the exaggerator, the embellisher, the flat out liar. Because then your arguments are just, they can so easily be dismissed. And I'm just like, and for Dennis to be, again, in the EO category, some people want to argue with me about that in the comment section, but I'm saying, for him to be an educated, intelligent man, and for him to do that, for him to be a lawyer, I'm like, come on, man, you already know the type of shit that a judge would throw out that wouldn't be admissible in court. And this wouldn't be admissible in court. You already know that, this was a fat person event, and you're going to try to use this to try to say what? That all black women are fat because here's evidence, exhibit A, of fat black women at a party that was specifically designed to congregate fat black women. And you're going to try to slap that on every other sister out here. Again, we know we have an obesity problem. We know that. But to use this, use something to say, hey, what you got to say, sister? I went to a club. And this is what was there. And the club, as you can see, is pretty much 50-50. And you pan the camera one way, there's Becky and her friends, and then you can't pan the camera another way, and there's Keisha and her friends taking up the half the bar. Then you make your argument. You say, "Come on, sisters, what's going on?" Blah 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 blah. Then you make your argument, but you don't take a video like this. But anyway, I'm belaboring the point. That's all I gotta say. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe. That's my video. SWP out.